Why China has released Canadian detainees soon after Ohio CFO was let go. Why were Canadians Michael Kovrig and Michael Sever detained by China? Who is Meng Wanzhou? China on Friday announced the release of two Canadians, Michael Kovrig and Michael Sever, a few hours after Canada announced the release of Huawei Technologies Chief Finance Officer Meng Wanzhou, who was detained in December 2018. Wanzhou flew to China Saturday evening, while Kovrig and Sever reached Canada on Saturday. US Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken in a statement said the US government stands with the international community in welcoming the decision by People's Republic of China authorities to release Canadian citizens Michael Sever and Michael Kovrig after more than 2.5 years of arbitrary detention. We are pleased that they are returning home to Canada. Who is Meng Wanzhou? Meng Wanzhou, 49-year-old chief financial officer of Huawei Technologies, was arrested on December 1, 2018 at the Vancouver International Airport by the Canadian authorities on instruction from the United States. Wanzhou, a daughter of the founder of Huawei Technologies, a Chinese tech company, had joined Huawei in 1993. She had been fighting extradition to the US since her arrest in 2018. Wang Zhou was accused of bank and wire fraud charges for allegedly misleading HSBC Bank in 2013 about Huawei's business dealings in Iran. According to Reuters, Huawei allegedly defrauded financial institutions to clear transactions and provide financial assistance to Huawei's Iran-based sister company Skycom, which was against US sanctions imposed on Iran. Wang Zhou was arrested soon after US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping signed a 90-day truce trade deal. As per the allegations by the US authorities, Wang Zhou had helped Huawei profit from evading sanctions imposed by the US on Iran. The Trump administration had also accused Huawei of stealing data and technologies from Western companies. Wang Zhou entered a deferred prosecution agreement and was arraigned on charge of conspiracy to commit bank fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud, bank fraud, and wire fraud, according to a statement released by the United Nations Department of Justice. On entering into a DPA, Wang Zhou took the responsibility of playing a prominent role in a scheme to defraud HSBC Bank. Why were the Canadians Michael Kovrig and Michael Sever detained by China? Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor were arrested 9 days after Huawei CFO Wang Wangzhou's arrest. While many have related the arrest with Wangzhou's arrest, the Chinese government has repeatedly denied the accusations. The Chinese government accused the two detainees known as the two Michaels of national security crimes. Michael Kovrig was a former Canadian diplomat to Beijing. He began working as Northeast Asia advisor to a non-government organization, International Crisis Group. The organization works towards diffusing international conflicts. As per the International Crisis Group website, Michael conducts research and provided analysis on foreign affairs, global security issues in Northeast Asia, particularly on China, Japan, and Korean Peninsula. The Chinese government had stated that Kovrig's arrest was also related to an administrative matter related to the registration of the crisis group as per New York Times. Michael Spavor, an entrepreneur, ran a cultural organization that promoted trips to North Korea. Spavor was known to travel to North Korea often and was accused of national security crime just like Kovrig. The Chinese government has maintained opacity on the arrest of the two Canadians. Last month, Spavor was sentenced to jail for 11 years by a Chinese court for spying. Why did China detain Canadians Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor? Although the Chinese government has denied the charges of arresting the two Michaels in retaliation of Wang Zhou's arrest, hours after Canada announced Wang Zhou's release, the Chinese government confirmed releasing the two detainees. China has not provided any reason for the release of the two Canadians. However, China has been accused of hostage diplomacy, the act of detaining people for diplomatic reasons, according to a study published by Yale Law School. Hostage diplomacy is when focusing on individuals is the only way to achieve legislative or diplomatic progress. Thank you.